All right. What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning in again to episode 2 of Alumni Talk. This is Andrew here again, of course, with Bobby. And we're going to be discussing today's topic, which is kind of around, current events and, kind of how to and things to think about in the sense of this whole situation dealing with COVID, with, the transition from remote learning to back on campus and vice versa. So to get started off, Bobby, I guess, what are your thoughts? What did you like when you went through classes? Did you like online? Did you like in person?
Hated it, dog. I hated that junk, man. I hate remote learning. So I know currently, there's students right now, all y'all are going through it right now. So, my deepest sympathies for you guys and partial empathy because I had to take one remote class in winter of what, 2017 or 18. I had to take one remote class on during the winter break, and it was like a 2-week class or something like that. But yeah, I hated it, man. Did you have to take any? Well,
I
you're taking
did.
some right now, right?
I'm taking some right now, and I did. I hate it. I feel like I developed these e-relationships, as I would call them, where I meet people, with my classmates and my professor. And I don't like it. I don't like not being able to talk in person. I don't like not being able to, form group studies, or just talk, to my classmates. But at the same time, that goes hand in hand, right? Where, there's nothing wrong with going the extra mile. I know now for the online classes that I'm taking, we don't have a choice, even if we did with COVID. It's online no matter what. So, for the people that started my program at the same time I did, we all made a GroupMe. GroupMe is an amazing app. Highly recommend. Even when you're going through classes, to form study groups. I remember a lot of times I'd be sitting in class and then you get an airdrop, right, with a note saying, "Hey, if you guys want to form a study group, join this link." And it takes that one person in class to send you that airdrop, and boom, you get it going. A lot of people enjoy it though. I think it comes down, online classes are cool. It's a little less structure of the professor leading, where you're kind of really leading with time management, and it's all
Yeah.
on you, right? Constantly checking, your Canvas or Blackboard or whatever school platform that your university or school uses. But it just depends. It totally just depends. For me, I like being in person, so that's a big thing. But again, pros and cons, because also a lot of people do have other jobs. A lot of people do have other things going on, and they don't have a choice but to take it online, which totally makes sense, right? Grind it out. Make sure
Yeah,
you put food
exactly. I
on
was
the
about
table,
to
and take online classes too. Do what you got to do. You got to be responsible with it and be able to recognize that. But you definitely have to adapt, especially with both.
Yeah, exactly. Nah, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head by stating, there's people out there that currently they have other responsibilities and obligations within their time to, that they can't necessarily go to an in-person class. It's kind of unfortunate though that, younger people, late teens and early 20s, people that were just, hey man, I'm gonna do the whole college thing now. Now they got to do it remotely. So I'm sure. I mean, I haven't. I've seen my other friends that are currently in school and stuff like that. They've kind of not been enjoying it that much because it's like, hey, the plans were I'm gonna be at college. I'm gonna do the college life. That's gonna take up all my time. And now it's like, I got too much free time, so to say,
Yeah.
and I can pretty much, you know, take the online classes and the assignments um, at night. But what am I going to do throughout the day when I'm supposed to be in the classroom or when I'm supposed to be going to meet my professor? And yeah, no, that's kind of tough. You're exactly right, though. If you guys do learn anything from this, the biggest takeaway is definitely learn how to manage your time. That is super important, especially if you're a current student. And when you graduate from college, learn how to manage your time. That is the most important skill and to definitely that you could get away from this. But my opinion is too, Andrew, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. What's the point of even taking these classes online, spending the kind of money that these students are currently spending on it, and you're not getting the whole networking feel out of it? And you might as well just be watching YouTube, to be honest with you, watching Alumni Talk. So maybe get some more information from us than you would from your professor. So,
Yeah.
I mean, what's your thoughts?
Self-study. You could self-study. Why do you need the structure in place when the majority of classes that are given to you, all they do is they provide you with your assignments and the deadlines. They say, hey, go read this page out of this book and tell me what you thought about it, you know,
Right.
or did you read it all? Let me quiz you to make sure, right? Did Jack and Jill, you know, go over the bridge, right? Did you read that part? Okay, cool. You got 100, you know, like, I don't know. Yeah. If I were going to college, and I have many friends that are, and that have started college and have missed out on their whole first and a half year of college, I would wait.
Yeah.
Take that time. Remember, find your if, right? Make sure you find your if, your thing, right? Or your it.
Your it, yeah.
Your it, excuse me. And then just wait. You know, the college is all about the experience. It's about the networking. It's about taking the opportunities. I'm not saying that they're not there online, but they are 100% more there when you were in person. You have opportunities that you can undoubtedly take in person that you cannot take while you're online, because that's just the way that college was made. It was structured in the sense for you to be there in person. Now, yes, the digital age has changed everything. And that's why for certain circumstances, yes, you can take classes online. The majority of universities, if you do take classes online, you have to give a pretty valid reason for you to be a DE student, which is distant education, right? To take classes online. I would have waited. You know, I know someone that is doing their master's at a university, and that university is pretty prestigious, and they have never stepped foot on that campus. And they're about to graduate with their master's. They are in this much money of debt for that piece of paper. And yes, that is totally worth it. And I'm not belittling that. But the majority of getting your master's and the majority of everything else is to really network, is to really go that extra mile, to take advantage of those opportunities that are presented only in these kind of scenarios of students wanting to take it to the next level and get a master's degree so they can be even that much more certified in their industry.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, that's how I view graduate school as well. I mean, exactly that. I mean, to not, you know, in the circumstance of, you know, your friend, colleague, or whoever they may be, I mean, that to not be able to step foot on campus and yet you get your master's degree, you never even got to meet your professor. All they really were was just kind of like like you're saying, kind of like what's the term I'm looking for, man? Like an accountability partner, so to say, instead of a teacher. Like, man, I don't know, man. That would just be such a buzzkill to me. I wouldn't want to have to go through that. But I understand, you know, that's something that they wanted to do. They had their it to do it, and that's something that they pursued. But yeah, no, that's tough.
Especially for the majority. So there are professors and teachers that are specifically online only teachers and specifically in-person teachers only, because that's how they were hired. That's what they requested, and that's how they built their curriculum around. So now you're forced, right, for all these people to go and take these classes online that normally aren't online by a professor that's never taught online. That completely is the majority are lecture classes, and it changes the whole dynamic of stuff. Like, it's at such a disadvantage for the professor. And I've seen professors do a lot of amazing things to try to really combat this, or really try to do their hardest, but it's just super difficult.
Difficult even for those professors. That's right.
Even for those professors.
Yeah. This is a whole new skill that they have to learn. How to teach online.
Change their whole curriculum that they've probably been doing for years.
Yeah.
And then as a student, you know, all of a sudden you're like, yeah, I'm going to go on campus. You know, I'm going to do it. This is a super hard class. I'm taking in person. I'm gonna get good grades. And now you have to sit behind a computer and watch a pre-recorded lecture, or go
Yeah.
through this alone if you're not taking opportunities to reach out to your classmates or anything. And majority of people, and those kind of stuff's like, oh my gosh, like Chegg's your best. Chegg is your professor at that point, or
Yeah.
other platforms like that. I mean, even taking a step back, right? If you're in high school and you're listening, really consider the difference or the opportunities, right? So because of this, and this has been acknowledged, and this is why this was created, that there's a pass-fail grade now, right? So statistic-wise, if you look at the academic year in previous years to the year of COVID, the largest district in California, and this is by the edsource.org, so that the number of D's and F's in grades 9 through 12 increased by 8.7% percentage points in the fall compared to the same time last year. So if you're breaking that down, the D's and F's, that's 23.2% American, 24.9% Latino, and 7.6% Asian. Just to give some more granularity on that, because again, keep in mind, I mean, a lot of these people may not even have internet. They may not have personal computers to do this stuff online.
To do the work
that was
with,
such
yeah.
a big issue in high school, right? College, understandable to a degree. High school, these people don't even, and in a time where this is a financial crisis, and now for your child to, or for your, if you're talking about parents, your child to learn, or for you to go to class in high school and to try to gain knowledge from this, you don't even have the resources to do that to begin with.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. In the Sequoia Union High School District in Redwood City, they said, and each county is different as far as like pass fail and grades and the standards of grades as well. So just to throw that out there as a disclaimer.
The school board. Yeah.
They said that the percentage of students with more than one failing grade jumped from 19.7% last year to 29% this year. F's in Mount Diablo Unified School District in Costa County jumped from 19% over the previous two fall terms to 30.6%.
That's crazy, man. I mean, that's an insane increase.
And then to combat this, they were like,
30%, right?
Yeah, 30% of students are failing. That means an F. An F. So, and to combat this, what they did is they made this, pass fail, right? Or they're like,
so they changed it from A's, B's, C's, and D's.
And F's were, okay, at the beginning of this class or in the middle, if you're not doing so hot, which means you either have a D or an F, you can elect that you can fall into this pass fail scenario, right? Which, of course, if you're in that situation, you're probably going to jump on that. Now, here comes the issues with that. Pass fail scenario on a transcript when you're in high school, and colleges look at that. What does that mean? How does that affect GPA? What does that mean to them, right? Even if you're, let's say you're in an AP class, right, where you earn college credits, pass fails don't get accepted.
No.
They don't. You took an AP class super hard. You passed it, where normally you would have got, I think you have to get a C in AP classes anyway. But that college credit that you worked so hard for and you deserved and you earned isn't recognized.
Yeah.
The same for college. It's the same for college too. This pass-fail scenario, employers ask for your college transcript. What if your major classes, which is the ones they're usually really worried about, they all have pass-fail? How does that affect your GPA? How does that show to an employer that, wow, okay, you passed this class versus getting an A or a B in it?
Yeah, that you actually excelled in your collegiate career within these courses, right?
Yeah, like, I don't know, those kind of things that I think they just tried to throw out there to save the bell. May have had good intentions in the beginning, but wasn't necessarily all thought through.
No,
To a
not at
point.
all. It's lowering the bar, man. It's absolutely lowering the bar of expectations. And I mean, I know if you're a student, you're listening to this, it's almost like it's, you know, yeah, I mean, the bar's been set lower, for a student to get past the class. And, that's, to be honest with you, that's not good for you as a student. I know it's kind of a salt to the ears or salt to the wound, so to say, but as a student, you want to do better, right? You should be pushing for the A's, the B's, the B pluses, not settling for just a simple pass and fail, because at that point, the student who does work really hard, who spends a ton of time to get that, their 4.0 GPA or their, 3.7 plus GPA. How would you even, dude? Here's a good question on that. If that's the circumstance, how do you determine who's going to be the valedictorian of a class, the graduating class, if it's all pass fail?
How do you even determine a GPA? How do you determine that someone qualifies for the next class? Think about it
Yeah,
in this
or how
sense.
do you get into college? Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah.
How? Right? Like, and it's not even that. It's setting up for failure. Like there are students that are in third, fourth, fifth grade that are learning these life classes that, simple math, addition. Even if you're a freshman, right, you got to take calculus, those really hard math classes. If you're in college, you usually have to take a level 1 and a level 2 course. What if you were failing and then you got a pass, but you didn't learn anything, and then the next level up completely builds off that, as they do?
Yeah.
What kind of setup does that have?
That's not. I mean, they're gonna. I mean, hopefully they can just like get a pass in the next class. But you're exactly right. If you didn't learn anything, how are you gonna build off of, I get, the first primary class, calculus one? How are you gonna pass calculus two if you didn't pass calculus one, verifiably? I would say.
Yep. And then, you're also taking this online, right? Alone. You're not with, in person to ask the teacher or professor, help. You can send an email and hope they respond, because I'm sure they're getting flooded with
Yeah,
emails.
yeah.
You know,
Hope they respond. Hope
you
they
know,
give you.
what are you supposed to do? Go spend more money on a tutor? I mean, if it comes down to it, I would recommend it, right? I mean, as so as a all right, so we pointed out all the flaws in this, right? We pointed out the hardships that you need to keep an eye out, and something you need to keep in mind. What can you do about it?
That's right. Thank you.
Right.
Yeah, I was about to say, man, let's talk about what you've been doing to get through this, and what can, students get through this currently that are going through it.
Yeah. If you're in high school, your parents are not a tutor. They don't know what's going on, right? When they took class, it was not even anywhere near this curriculum, right? They always laugh and joke that, what kind of math is this? This isn't math. With
Yeah.
the kind of math that we're doing now, especially with calculators and everything like that kind of stuff. Get a tutor, right? Your school or university hopefully has some kind of free tutoring service, and plan ahead for that. Other things that you can do are definitely form groups, by all means. Like, reach out.
Yeah.
You
I was
know,
about to say, definitely do what you were mentioning earlier. Create a form where you and
reach
the
out.
other students.
You can see everyone's email in whatever platform, and you can send a group email. Obviously exclude the professor, because I don't. I mean, if you want to, sure, but I don't. If we're trying to form group studies, establish relationships with those, and then maybe even moving forward, take the same classes so you guys keep studying with each other. There's a lot of other things out there. Quizlet. There's other resources that help provide videos. Like, you can even find a topic on YouTube about something. Let's say you have to make this chart in Excel and you got no idea, right? YouTube's the go-to source for that, right? You do have other resources like Check, for homework assistance, or they even have tutoring on there. But it's external factors that you can't control, and they're affecting you so much, and you kind of really are stuck in a hard place, but you still can do something about it.
You can. I think the most important thing, I mean, like, even with the suggestions of tutors, as well as, creating time, like creating a group and stuff like that. The most important thing that you guys I encourage you guys to learn through this. And I hope you are learning is that time management skill, because that's going to be the most important thing. I mean, you could get the tutors and stuff like that, but let's face it, we're all human beings. Sometimes we don't feel like going, having to do something. I mean, that's why I was always big on like going to classes, just because you got to be present in class to learn today's lesson. And it's easier when you're at home to slack off, or when
Yep.
you don't have to physically be in a location to slack off. That's just going to require a lot of discipline. And I hope the listeners are definitely employing a lot of discipline in their life throughout their school career. The reason that being is so that you can take these steps that are being suggested. Get the tutor. Make sure you pencil in the time period that you're going to have that tutoring session in for the day and each day of the week. And same with the group meetings. Definitely pencil those in. Have those on your mind throughout the day. And get outside too. I mean, that's a big thing too. I know, I got some neighbors that their students throughout this process, they've had issues of actually just like going outside and getting to the park. And that's kind of like what's happened with, the beer bug and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, I get it like 110%, but get outside, get your energy out by going outside. I would say first thing in the morning. I don't know what time y'all's classes begin. From what I understand, though, is that they're kind of starting a little bit later. Get up first thing in the morning if you're a student listening to this, and just go outside, go do some type of physical exercise so that you can be focused throughout the day. That's going to be super important. Don't wait until the end of the day to do it either, because you need to start off your day with some type of exercise, something to get you out of your house so you're not comfy. Get uncomfortable so you can so you can already start that daily habit, or the habit for the day of being in an uncomfortable position. The next uncomfortable position is you being in your house where it's nice and comfortable and cozy, and sitting in front of the pre-recorded lesson that the professor has already given for today. That's going to be uncomfortable, but you're going to have to do it, to get through it. At least get that pass instead of the fail.
PassFail. Oh man, no, but
I mean, that's absolutely crazy.
Time management is key, because it's really holding yourself accountable. And when you are remote, you have so many distractions, right? When you're doing this stuff, you have to hide your phone.
Yeah, I was about to say that's a big thing too, man. If everybody our age and younger, especially younger, we all got bad habits of our phones. Gotta put literally hide your phone. The way I've been working remote is I have an Apple Watch, so I keep my Apple Watch on. I put it on throughout the day, but I leave my phone in my bedroom. Just leave it on the charger throughout the entire day, and that's pretty much. I mean, that alleviates a lot of distractions. And under no circumstances, your brain's going to tell you, especially if you're sitting there, you're in a class that you don't want to be in. Your brain's going to find every single way for you not to pay attention to that class.
Yep.
And that's just normal. But eliminate the distractions, man. Eliminate those. So, the phone being one, just leave it in the room.
Also, take breaks, like you were saying. There are plenty of apps that not only on your phone, right, because of distraction, but are on the computer that tell you, hey, it's been 20 minutes, take a 5-minute break. Right. You want to, you can even just, it doesn't even matter, just put a normal app on your phone. There's also a study timer is a popular one. Even just using the clock on your phone. They all have websites that you can do it through as well. There's another one called Wake Up. That's pretty simple. And it does every 20 minutes and takes that 5 minutes into consideration. Because if you go listen to doctors, there's a lot of TED Talks on it, to where for you to actually listen or watch something, whether you're an audible or a literal reader or a learner, whatever it may be, that your brain can only retain so much at the same time. So what they were saying is that the 20-minute mark is a good mark, because At the end of the 20 minutes, you should still be able to retain what you learned at the beginning of that 20 minutes. And that's why you need that 5-minute break for your brain to process that and store it. Versus if you go for a whole 2 hours studying, at the end of that 2 hours, you're not going to remember what you first studied at the beginning of the hour. Right?
That's a good point. Yeah.
So take breaks, go outside. And like you were saying too, don't just wake up. It's so hard, especially in college, when we had 8 a.m.s on a Monday or a Friday. Don't wake up 5 minutes before class and go. How can you wake up and retain information when you don't even remember walking to class, yet you're there and you're still rubbing the eye boogers out of your eyes?
And even change out of your PJs. Yeah, that was one thing
You have to wake up before class so you can
Yes.
learn, right? You
Get your
cannot
day
wake
moving.
up in class. Yes, like even if it takes you to wake up in 10 minutes, wake up 15 minutes earlier. So you're up for 10 minutes, you're going, and then you got a 5-minute mark to really just sit there awake and get in that zone, you know?
Mm-hmm. And dress up too. Dress up. That's a big thing too, as well. It's like, I mean, I've done it in the past where I've literally woken up out of bed and just gone straight to the desk and PJs and stuff like that for work. But the days that are super successful are the days that and as most recently, like it's the days that, I get up and I change into, business casual. And I treat my little home office that I got going on just like it was the regular office. That's going to help you a lot too as a student. Put on put on the clothes that you would normally wear to class. And if it's PJs, I highly encourage you to get out of that habit. You can't go to work wearing PJs. So, I mean, that's just not starting a good habit in the first point. If you used to do that in person in college, because I mean, overall, you're there to become a young professional, to become a student. You're there to become a student to become a young professional. So take it seriously. And same with this remote stuff. That's the biggest thing, I guess, out of the whole circumstance is that it's easy to not take any of this seriously or as serious as it is when it's in person. But, implore some discipline in your life and treat it as it is. It needs to be treated. This is still school. This is still learning. And treat it as such. And yeah, like Andrew was saying, get the help that you need, get the tutors, get the student groups moving. If nobody else is doing it, you be the one, you be the leader, start that stuff. And sky's the limits for you. So, or I mean, not even really. I mean, as however high you want to go, man, you can go. So like, definitely push it.
Yeah, and if you guys have any other techniques that has helped you through this journey, let us know. Feel free to share. I would love to read some cool tips or tricks that really helped you, during these times that you developed, right? Some good study habits, some good habits to combat the stress or this change from in person to remote, maybe even going back into in person, whatever it may be. Because I'm sure there's a lot of good ones out there. So definitely share, because that could really make or break a difference between someone getting a pass fail, right?
Right, exactly. That will make a big difference. Also, if you guys have been hearing about what other, school districts have been doing to combat this circumstance, those that are succeeding, I mean, go ahead and leave a comment. Don't put the actual county and what school board it's coming from, but say, our area has been doing X, Y, and Z. We're doing hybrid classes now instead of full in person, for example. And the students' grades have been going up, or student attendance has been increasing because of hybrid classes, or whatever your school is doing, so that the other people can see it and maybe suggest it to their school board. So because everybody's in this together, and everybody will be pushing through this together, and you need each other to get through it. So
that's facts, and that sets the precedence for so much more moving forward too. Because again, I mean, let's say you go through college, and Yeah, you may get to the end point and you may get this piece of paper that says you are now a professional of bachelor's in XYZ, and you go to a job interview and they say, "Oh, you got a bachelor's at college. Well, can you tell me about this?" And they're going to ask you something that you should know because that's what you should have learned. And if you didn't learn anything while going through it, but you just got to the end goal, what was the point?
Exactly.
How embarrassing, right? You don't want to do that. So
Test failed.
yeah. So I mean, make sure that you may get to the end goal, but you want to make sure it's worthwhile.
That's right. That's right. Be ready for that trick question that could be coming, as Andrew's saying. And yeah, definitely be prepared for that, and just keep pushing through it. From what I understand, from what I've heard too, this is not going to last forever for you guys. Neither for us either. I know there's been discussions about people going back to the office and stuff like that, within all industries. So through the time being, though, don't waste this time. I know it's going to be it's super easy to do that, but don't do that. And soon enough, hopefully this will all fix out. If it doesn't, though, be prepared for that too. Be prepared for everything being completely remote now. Be prepared for the least amount of social interactions in the future. How would you prepare for that? What would you do to get through that time or to advance in that time? Learn how to use social media accounts and groups to connect with the people. That's going to be your networking capabilities, is to use social media and different blogs and stuff like that. Get involved with different social groups to meet the professionals you need to meet. But yeah, be prepared for both. But do not forget to comment, subscribe, and like. And I mean, do you have any finishing pieces, Andrew,
No, I
that you
mean,
want to be telling them?
I think that was a great last words, right? Always prepare for the worst, and opportunities present themselves in weird ways, right? So when an opportunity presents itself, even though it may not be ideal, take advantage of it, excel in it.
That's right.
You guys got this, and there's nothing holding you back except for yourself.
That's right.
So
And in order
go
to
out there and
get
get it.
exactly, in order to get it, get up early, like Andrew was saying, not 5 minutes before class. My suggestion is at least an hour. If you can get up 2 hours, before your class, do that so you can get your day moving. Get outside periodically throughout the day so that you retain the information. You could, meditate, think about the information that you learned within the last hour, as well as what were the other couple points, Andrew, to help them make sure that they take the most out of this? Wake up early.
Yeah, wake up early, time management, take study breaks, no distractions. Be aware of when something's presented to you, such as the PassFail. You understand what the implications are currently and in the future, and just take advantage. Just be a go-getter, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Be a go-getter and get it done, man. So, but it was a pleasure to speak with you guys, and hopefully, I mean, surely, I'm not going to say surely because I wouldn't have said in 2018 that or 2019 that there's surely going to be all this mess going on in 2020, and it would continue into 2021 as of today. But hopefully we'll all get through this, and we're all going to make it through, and hopefully you guys are going to be able to say, man, even though it wasn't the most ideal situation, I did a darn good job getting through this and making the most of it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then as always, right, don't forget, like, share, comment, subscribe, send it to a friend, do whatever you want. Look forward to next week's episode. And, as always, appreciate you listening in. And, this was Alumni Talk.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend. So,
Stay healthy.
absolutely. Bye-bye.